especially if you move your children to an entirely different coast. I have work and a life in Flagstaff.
So Kody can pack up and leave whenever he feels like it, but heaven forbid anyone else in the family does the same. Wasn't he the one who yanked the entire family out of their leaves to move away from Maddie, Caleb, and Axel after they settled in Las Vegas, just so he could be closer to his precious family? But now suddenly, it's a problem when someone else wants to move away. Gee, doesn't that seem a little hypocritical? Of course, no one is allowed to make their own decisions. Kody, the all-powerful center of the Brown family universe, decrees that everyone must revolve around him. All hail Kody. And let's not forget all those lovely little speeches Kody and Robyn have been giving for the past couple of seasons. Everyone should come here for the holidays. Flagstaff is the hub. This is the nucleus of the family. My kids love it here. And of course, Thanksgiving and Christmas must always be at Robyn's house. It's all about creating the perfect little family holiday scenario where Kody can control every single detail. Never mind that Flagstaff is a logistical nightmare. It's not a big city, there's snow on the roads half the year, and it's nestled in a national forest, so getting through is a pain. Not exactly a tourist-friendly destination. But Vegas, that's an actual city with non-stop flights and Ubers on every corner. A little more convenient, don't you think? We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Janelle and Robyn's interactions, or, well, lack thereof, are almost like a masterclass in silent disdain. Seriously, if you watch closely, and I've done this, believe me, from S1E1 all the way up to S6E4, Janelle doesn't even acknowledge Robyn, ever. If Robyn talks to her directly, Janelle might give a 1-second response, but then, bam, it's straight back to addressing the group. It's like she's speaking at Robyn, not to her. And the best part, Janelle never, and I mean never, looks at Robyn when she speaks. It's like Robyn is invisible. Janelle will look directly at anyone else talking. She'll even engage with what they're saying, sometimes respond, but with Robyn, not a glance. It's textbook management skills, right? So, I'm just gonna throw this out to the group. No one in particular, but maybe if we could stop being, hoes who hawk the husband. That'd be great. Just saying, no names. Subtle, Janelle. Very subtle. Honestly, I think Janelle was done with Robyn from the get-go. Robyn is like that person in a meeting who talks endlessly, but says nothing, easy to tune out. Now, Christine. She actually tried with Robyn, which honestly, I never understood. Janelle? Nope, zero effort. But Kody, he blames Christine for everything, including stuff that Robyn probably started. The thing is, Robyn was super jealous of Christine, especially when the kids were so attached to her. Christine was a better cook, and the kids clearly adored her, which rubbed Robyn the wrong way. Robyn wanted to take that role for herself, but let's be real, she wasn't about to work or pay bills, which is where Janelle's role fit in. That wasn't a threat. But Christine? Big threat. Robyn wanted to be her, the new mom figure everyone looked up to. And there's this one cue, and with the older kids, where they all go off about how amazing Christine's mock pudding is. You can feel Robyn's jealousy just boiling over. Even Kody, who's usually in his own world, shot her a look like, "Oh, I'm in trouble later." It was priceless. I'm seriously baffled at how Christine has money while Janelle doesn't. It's honestly frustrating because I remember how hard Janelle worked for her family. But when they hit Coyote Pass, what even happened? Did any of the Las Vegas money go into the houses? I know Christine paid for everything herself once she moved in, but she surely didn't leave with a huge payout from that house, right? I mean, you barely make a dent in your mortgage for the first few years because of all that interest. At least that's how it works in Australia. So, someone please clarify because I'm lost here. Christine actually made a profit off her house, thanks to rising property values. Janelle, on the other hand, admitted that her RV adventure was a total disaster. She bought this insanely expensive model, had to get a massive truck to tow it, and then there were the ongoing costs for water, fuel, and storage. It's no wonder it all added up. Honestly, she would have been way better off just using that money for a down payment on a house. She had this dream of setting roots at Coyote Pass, thinking it would inspire the rest of the family, but it's pretty clear Kody only has one plan: sell the land and hunker down in his McMansion with the wives who get him. I can't help but think that instead of storing the RV, Janelle should have just taken it to North Carolina for the winter with Savannah. That would have been smarter. And seriously, one of the most infuriating things about this whole situation is Janelle's financial mess. She rented 2 homes, bought an expensive RV, then moved into an apartment. She would have been much better off just buying a house when she first got there. But no, she drank the Coyote Pass Kool-Aid. Now, she's stuck in a crappy apartment while Robyn and Kody just sit there squandering everything she worked so hard for. It's maddening. I'm starting to think Janelle was a true believer in polygamy. She worked her butt off thinking if she gave it her all, the family would somehow protect her in the future. But by the time they moved to Vegas, Janelle was unemployed. She tried her hand at real estate, but that didn't pan out, partly because they were always on the move. Then she tried small business ventures, hoping to leverage their TV fame, but honestly, what could possibly have worked when Kody only cared about that disastrous jewelry idea? Then, of course, they moved to Flagstaff, and once again, Janelle's trying to be the responsible one. She rents a house while Christine buys one right away, probably realizing that owning a home was the safer option when you're tied to someone like Kody. Robyn buys a massive house, and Mary's been sitting pretty in her B&B for years. Meanwhile, Janelle's still renting and watching as her financial security slips away. It's clear that while the other wives were protecting themselves, Janelle was still all in on the family. But now it's too late. She's been out of the workforce for too long, didn't jump on the MLM bandwagon like Mary and Christine, and now she's been wasting money on rent for the last 5 years. Janelle really thought polygamy was supposed to protect women, not take advantage of them. But by the time she figured out she needed to start protecting herself, it was already way too late in the game. She's basically the last polygamous wife still standing in the Brown family. Why is it that we never actually see Kody and Robyn together? I mean, we've seen him at lunch with Christine, hanging out at the RV or apartment with Janelle, and even having his Rice Krispies anniversary date with Mary. Yet when do we get a moment with just him and Robyn? Odd, right? Especially since they're the only couple whose marriage is still intact. It's like they're clinging to this bizarre act that they're not constantly together. Even though, let's be real, we all know they are. They do these little things, like taking Aurora for a daddy-daughter ear piercing, thinking that somehow makes them look more relatable or down-to-earth. Newsflash, it doesn't. Honestly, they're living in a fantasy world, completely delusional about how they come across. And Robyn's constant attempt to act like she doesn't get preferential treatment is laughable. Remember that scene in Season 17, Episode 1, where Kody told her to sleep on the couch? Sure, that was a moment. But even back when she was saying she couldn't have another baby, her scenes always felt off. Like, take the haircutting moment. Robyn was going to mention it, but then, surprise, Kody brought it up first. And of course, there just happened to be someone waiting in the other room to do it. Sure, totally spontaneous. Is Robyn really that oblivious to why the wives are leaving? I can't quite put my finger on her. She's a mystery wrapped in a riddle. Most of my anger is aimed at Kody. Honestly, even if Robyn begged him to be a better husband to the other wives, his narcissism would just mansplain to her why things had to be this way. Even though she's clearly the favorite, can she really not see how it all fell apart? I mean, Christine said the family stopped getting together the way they used to, stopped celebrating together once Robyn came into the picture. On one hand, I want to believe Robyn wanted a big, happy family. But the other part of me wonders if she's just a master manipulator playing the role for TV. She's always crying, claiming she was deceived by the perfect family dream, and now she says she has no idea how everything got so bad. I mean, how is it possible she doesn't realize what's happening? If she had been treated even a fraction of the way Meri was treated, she would have lost it. But maybe she's just wearing blinders because Kody gives her whatever she wants, and probably works overtime to keep her happy. I just can't help but wonder what everyone else thinks about her. Do you blame her? Do you think she knew what was going on? Or do you agree with me and place the blame on Kody? I mean, he was supposed to be the man of the house. It was his job to make sure things were fair. At the end of the day, it's Kody's choice to favor Robyn, and she definitely knows it and doesn't do anything to stop it. Both of them are at fault here. When Kody started spending all this time with Robyn, she could have told him to get lost and insisted on some balance. Instead, she just smiles and lets him. No complaints, just approval. There's this one moment in season 1 that really sums it up. Robyn pretends to go shopping for a dress with the wives, but she already picked out the dress with Kody. You can see how hurt Christine is. Robyn's response: she straight up says she never felt an obligation to be truthful with the wives. Rewatch that scene, her face is all cold indifference. Robyn knows how to play the game. She's always coming up with reasons why she needs Kody more than anyone else. First, it's the kids can't go more than 2 days without him. Then, it's that Artie won't sleep. And, of course, the whole coronavirus situation. She had to enforce stricter rules because Saul had RSV, so Kody couldn't visit anyone else unless they followed her rules. It's always a reason why Kody has to spend more time with her, and Robyn's always the one behind it. Take season 1, episode 4, for instance, Christine's in labor. Robyn knew exactly what she was doing and the damage she was causing. She's not interested in a cozy retirement with her sister wives. She wouldn't even let Christine watch her kids. To her, the wives and kids aren't family, they're just Kody's wives and Kody's kids. Listen to how she talks about them. It's so detached. The tears? Totally fake. She's pretending to care about the future of the family, just like she pretends to care about everything else. So, here's the scoop on Janelle and Kody's wedding. Since it's a topic that gets brought up constantly, especially while we're on a break, that's one way to put it, I figured I'd clear a few things up. Weddings in their world are a special event. Apparently, only 1 day a month is reserved for them. Yes, really. Everyone who's getting married that month does it on the same day for their temple marriage. So, when Janelle and Kody got married, guess what? It had to fall on the same day as Meri's birthday. Why? Oh, because they got a special exception just for them, so as not to create any drama with Meri. They petitioned for it, and shockingly, the big wedding powers that be granted it. They even explained this on Notes to Self, saying there were no bad intentions, that's just the way it works. And believe it or not, they don't normally make exceptions. Who knew? Now, Janelle's previous marriage to Meri's brother tends to pop up alongside the wedding date drama. Let's break it down. They were married for a whole 6 months before calling it quits. And guess what? This was 3 years before Janelle married Kody. Just to clarify for anyone who's keeping track. They've said on Notes to Self that it's actually pretty common in their community for someone to marry into the same family after a divorce. So, no biggie, right? Here's where the question often comes up. Why doesn't Meri talk about Janelle's short marriage to her brother? Well, Janelle has mentioned it, but casually said that it was clear pretty early on it wasn't going to work. And I get it, awkward. But here's something to chew on. Meri's dad apparently had some issues, and Meri has had her own struggles with anger management. Have we ever considered that maybe Meri doesn't want the whole Janelle was married to my brother thing brought up? Maybe, just maybe, it's not because Janelle is hiding something, but because Mary doesn't want the reminder. I mean, who knows? 6 months isn't exactly a long time, and maybe Janelle's just showing some respect here, not airing out all the details of why the marriage ended so abruptly. Just a thought. I'm not here to spell it out, but it's possible the reason it's all hush-hush has more to do with Mary's feelings than Janelle's. It's worth considering, right? Maybe we shouldn't jump to conclusions. Or maybe that's just me trying to be considerate. Either way, there's a different perspective here. Let's be real. People end marriages for all sorts of reasons. Most of the time, it's the usual stuff. But every once in a while there are unusual circumstances. Take my first marriage, for example. We got along great until, surprise, he had this little problem he kept hidden until after we tied the knot. Nothing illegal, but it made a normal, intimate life impossible. And guess what? If I had known about it before we got married, I wouldn't have married him. And he wouldn't even consider therapy. So, yeah, I couldn't live with it. Only a handful of people know the real reason I got out of that marriage. And no, I'm not talking about it on a casual, "Why did you divorce?" chat. But let's be real here. I'm not going to post a long-winded thing trying to be all careful and tactful, dancing around what I really think. I mean, it's obvious what we're all thinking. There's a chance the anger issues in Mary's family could have played a part in why Janelle left her marriage so fast. And let's be honest. It's okay to ask questions, to infer things based on the stuff we already know. It doesn't make us assumptive, it makes us curious. Maybe Janelle doesn't talk about it because she doesn't want to drag Mary through the mud. Maybe Mary doesn't talk about it because she's embarrassed. Or, wild idea, maybe Janelle just thought her brother was a jerk and walked away. It's possible. So yeah, let's not get too hung up on assumptions. There's a lot we don't know here, and maybe, just maybe, we should let it be. The whole Flagstaff move is such a shady mess, and honestly, I can't stand it. I'm rewatching the season where Kody pitches the idea, and it's honestly wild. One of the most telling things is how his trip to Flagstaff with Robyn and her kids was all done off camera. Wonder why they didn't film that little trip. Oh right, because they already knew they were moving there. They didn't want anyone else hearing the real conversation when they were talking about it with Robyn's kids, Aurora and Brina. No cameras, no interruptions, just straight-up manipulation. And of course, they probably took the girls around to show them where Dayton was going to college, just to seal the deal on the whole. This is happening, deal with it plan. It's beyond shady. Watching Robyn and Kody pull the strings with the other wives and kids is just disgusting. That whole season is such a wake-up call. If you had any doubt that Kody and Robyn were 100% out for themselves, that season should make it crystal clear. They needed the wives to move so Kody could milk the money from all those homes, and of course, he needed their incomes to keep the whole thing afloat. It's gross. And don't even get me started on that time Kody took Christine to Flagstaff. She thought it was their first trip to see a realtor and check out some properties, right? Wrong. A few houses in, either Kody or the realtor let it slip that Kody had already scouted out some properties with Robyn and her kids. So much for the first time, they're meeting with a realtor. They were never going there just to check it out. They already knew they were going to manipulate the entire family into moving there. Total setup. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and much love to you all.